How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about games that I would like to be turned into live action TV series, or it can be animated TV series. Doesn't matter if it's live action or not. But I think these are really good choices, and we're seeing an increase with those sorts of things like The Last of Us, Castlevania, whatever. Lately there's been a lot. And there's even some on this list that are already under production or in early development. So let's talk about it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out because the majority of you that watch the channel are actually not subscribed. So if you're watching the channel, why don't you just subscribe anyways? Just want to make it known that this is in no way, shape, or form in order. I just started thinking about games that are popular and just started writing them down. I haven't played a couple of these. I've played, played majority of them. There's only one game on this list that I haven't played myself. So, did a little bit of research on that particular one. So let's start with that one.
I'm grateful, Mrs. Bush, that they are finally bringing civilization to this savage land.
Red Dead Redemption is one of the best selling games of all time. It's won tons of awards, and it's set in 1911. It's got a real Western feel to it, and kind of like Yellowstone, it's a brutal Western, but it's set way back in the day instead of well, I guess it's stormy outside. Red Dead Redemption follows John around, and he's an old outlaw, and the government kidnaps his wife and son and says, hey, you gotta deal with these old buddies of yours. So now he's gotta confront these people that he used to do bad things with, and he's gotta get rid of them in order to save his family. I haven't played the game, like I said. This is the only game in the list that I haven't played, but I really want to. I really want to play this game. Like I said, it's won tons of awards before. I think it would do really well if you think about series that are similar to this. Again, Yellowstone, Mad Men. That's kind of got that feel, that old school feel to it. Shows like this do well, and especially if it's well produced. And I feel like Amazon would be a really good home for this, or even HBO, due to the level of violence and probably some nudity here and there. I think this is a great show for HBO Max or Prime Video, and I hope that somebody out there is talking about this and talking about turning into a TV series, because I would watch it, and it would make me really want to play the game more than I already do. So, side note, I finally got myself a PS5, so hey, maybe under the PlayStation Now subscription, I can get to the old ones and start from the very first one and work my way up from there. Anyways, next up.
Oh, jeez. Hey, little guy, how did you get in here?
I know you can't understand me, but put down the stapler or I will electrocute you.
Next on the list is perhaps one of the most successful, if not one of the most successful game franchises of all time. Tons of movies, tons of games. I mean, every 3 to 4 years, you get a brand new game. It's Pokemon. Now, Netflix is already working on the live action version of a Pokemon series. Netflix has some of the animated ones. It's got the rights to the brand new episodes that comes out. So to me, it's no surprise that Netflix got the rights to the live action series. And as far as I know, it's going to be based on the Detective Pikachu movie that came out in 2019 with Ryan Reynolds. It's actually a really funny movie. It was a good movie, actually. I mean, it wasn't like the greatest of all time. It's probably like a 6 out of 10, which is saying a lot nowadays for movies, because a lot of movies nowadays are garbage. I'm really interested to see how they're going to do a live action version of this. I'm pretty sure they're not going to dress up a dog or paint a dog in Pikachu colors and have them go around. So it's probably going to be like Detective Pikachu, where the humans are humans and the Pokemon are CGI. but there was a lot of potential there. So if they do this right, and if they attach the right names to this, this could definitely go somewhere. And why not bring Ryan Reynolds back as Pikachu if that's what they're gonna do with it? I don't know if it's gonna be a side story or if it's just gonna be in the likes of. But hey, bring it on. I'm ready to see what this is gonna be like, as long as it's not a failure like other anime that attempted to do live action like Dragon Ball and Death Note. So Netflix, please do this right.
Was not always a good husband, not always a good citizen. He did not die a hero's death, but he was a man. Our Lord was crucified.
Next up on the list is another gaming franchise that's considered to be one of the greatest franchise of all time. Grand Theft Auto 5. It's still one of the most playable, streamed games to this day. And it's been out for what, 5 years, 6 years? I have a friend that streams and he does well enough with his streams playing this thing. It is certainly more of a niche game. If you're still playing it by now, I get it. And when a game is brand new, everybody wants to play it. But if you're still stuck to the game by this point, then that means you're a huge fan. So there's literally, they can go anywhere with this. I mean, they can make this into, oh God, I hate them saying this, like a Fast and Furious sort of thing, or they can turn it into following one person or multiple people, or every season's a different person, or they can just go straight from the game and adapt it. Not only GTA 5, they could really go into any GTA, anything. San Andreas. I mean, there's some things kind of based on San Andreas already, but just name a GTA title and you can literally turn that particular one into a TV series. And with a name like GTA behind it, I mean, it's going to be successful. And to me, this is an Amazon show. I don't see Netflix doing justice to this. And I think HBO is already kind of on the... it's got already a few projects coming up that are pretty big. So I think Amazon is the perfect place for a potential GTA series.
So, you want to hear a story, huh? What about treasure hunters? Have I got a story for you? Pandora. This is our home, but make no mistake, this is not a planet of peace and love.
Next up is Borderlands, which has a movie coming out with a huge cast. So if you don't know who's going to be playing in the movie, just do a quick Google search and you will see the names like Jack Black and Kevin Hart behind it. And I think it'd just be cool. It's kind of like a Mad Max sort of game, post-apocalyptic world, and the planet of Pandora. And I think it's going to be really gruesome. It's going to be lots of dirty jokes and jokes in general, and I think it'd just be a great game to turn into a TV show because it's got all the elements that would make a successful TV series that could very well run within a 3 to 4 month span. Borderlands is a game that I did play, although I didn't get very far into it because it's not my type of game. But the idea behind it was what drew me to the game, and I think if they had a TV series instead and I got through it, I might be more likely to go back to the actual game and play it. Very popular. There's tons of different Borderlands. So, I mean, a movie's coming out. So if it's very successful, I don't doubt it for 1 minute that one of these giant streaming platforms is going to pick it up and turn it into a TV series.
"5 years have come and gone. The light of life still shines upon Eorzea. Man labors tirelessly to raise himself from the calamity's ruin."
Next up on the list is Final Fantasy, a world in which magic and technology blend in together to either solve chaos or create chaos. If you've played Final Fantasy, and even if you haven't played Final Fantasy, I'm sure you've heard of it. I've played tons of Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy 7 is one of my favorite games of all time. Final Fantasy 10 is one of my favorite games. 10 Part 2 is one of my favorite games. And there's so much depth so much lore, so much source material to draw upon. They could literally pick any Final Fantasy and turn into a movie or a TV series. There's movies already. There's actually a animated Final Fantasy IX series that are coming up to Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, animated. But there is a Netflix 14 series that's been talked about. Now, it was first announced in 2019, but because of the pandemic, that was a lot one. Because of the pandemic, I don't know if you guys really kept up with it. It really put into a screeching halt. The show was supposed to be very large and very big. So obviously with the pandemic, things are a lot more difficult. And as of late 2020, the last we heard is that the show is still into early development. There's no names attached to it or anything like that. But there is still a plan for that, and they do want to release it. And I think it's such a smart idea to release a Final Fantasy live action series, because if it's done well, hopefully it doesn't turn into another Monster Hunter sort of fiasco. If you saw the Monster Hunter movie, it was kind of like a disappointment. So hopefully it doesn't turn into that, because it could very well turn into something like that. But I think if Netflix picked it up and really took care of it, it could be a huge success.
Calypso. They say he has many powers. When I win, he's going to send me where she's been hiding all these years. And this time, I'm going to finish what I started.
Next one on the list is perhaps my favorite game on this list, although there are tons of great games on this list, is Twisted Metal. I grew up playing Twisted Metal. I love Twisted Metal. Sweet Tooth is one of my favorite characters of any gaming franchise. And there's so much to do here. The idea of destruction and following some of these characters around would be fantastic. I mean, I would love to see season 1 based on Sweet Tooth, or perhaps a few different characters. Mr. Grimm, Calypso, a new character, Dollface, that was introduced in one of the latest games. I think this is a perfect match for HBO. So HBO, if by some reason somebody that works at HBO was watching this, please pick up Twisted Metal and turn it into a TV series, for the love of God. Can you please do that? Imagine seeing all those characters, you're following them around for, let's just say a long season, 12 episodes maybe. And you spend the first 8 following these characters around and introducing them and creating a lore, creating a backstory. And then as they are preparing for this big deathmatch tournament, and then at the end of season 1, they all come together. Some of them die. I mean, that's just plenty of drama right there. And my main thing about this is how gruesome this would be. This would be like in the realm of The Boys, gruesome. So HBO, Amazon, come on now. Make the right decision here and pick up Twisted Metal for a TV series spot. And if you don't know, Twisted Metal Revival was announced for the PS5 coming in 2023. So bring it on. In the world which humans once lived, modern humans like today, is a land filled with nature, hunters and gatherers, and metal horses, and metal dinosaurs, and metal beasts. And that's the premise of Horizon. If you've never played Horizon, it's a fantastic game. It's a beautiful game, and it follows Aloy, which is a girl that was born as an outcast living outside the tribe, and she's got to earn her way back in along with her adopted father. Beautiful world that combines nature and technology, in similar way of Final Fantasy, but instead of magic is nature. What more could you want out of this? If I'm showing trailers here of these TV shows, of these games that I want to become TV shows, and just watch the trailer for Horizon, how beautiful it is. I mean, they could go to New Zealand, they could go to Iceland, and they could film this series, and it'd just be so perfect. Lots of drama, there's lots of exploration that follows a similar formula of other PlayStation exclusive games that are known for being great storytellers. I mean, look at The Last of Us. This is a game that's considered to be one of the best games of all time, if not the best game of all time, that's now being turned into a TV series for HBO that I've talked about plenty here on the channel already. I think the elements of Horizon are incredibly intriguing that would just make perfect TV. Horizon Zero Dawn has all of the elements to make it into an intriguing and beautiful TV show that would have amazing storytelling that would just captivate you from the time that you see this baby grow up into a woman and just become this fierce warrior that is afraid of absolutely nothing. HBO, you're already talking to Sony about The Last of Us, so let's just bitch Horizon in there. Okay?
Mind your tongue, boy! Until our journey is over, one of us must remain focused. Do not mistake my silence for lack of grief. Mourn how you wish. Leave me to my own.
Last but definitely not least, it's one of the gaming franchises I've been playing the longest. I've played this back when it first came out, God of War 1, the original one on the PlayStation, God of War 1, 2, 3, and then the remake for the PlayStation 4. And I am so looking forward to God of War Ragnarok that's coming out hopefully next year sometime. It's God of War. Now, there's so much material here. I mean, Jesus Christ. There's, like I said, God of War 1 all the way to God of War 4. And this would have so many different seasons. You could literally go from season 1, introducing Kratos, to finding out who he really is, to season 2, him battling the gods from the first games. I don't want to spoil it too much. And then season 3, you know what happens if you play God of War 3. And then from there on, season 4, you can just kind of space it out a little bit too. The new God of War is kind of a reboot. It's a soft reboot. That doesn't mean that everything started over. Kratos just started over in God of War 4. And if you've seen trailers for that, you know that that's not a spoiler. And Kratos has a son. So this is right up HBO's alley again, just like The Last of Us or Horizon if they want to do it. This is right up their alley, man. This would be great. It's seeing Kratos, a demigod, seek revenge on Greek gods. It's writing itself, guys. It really, it really is. Drama, action, goriness, and a little bit of humor there because Kratos is always so serious that he can use that as comedic relief as well. I don't think I would be the only one wanting to see God of War become a TV series. I hope they don't turn into movies. I think TV series would be a better home for God of War. It would be a better format that would allow for greater storytelling, for character development and all that. And then again, beautiful scenery. Go to New Zealand, go to, if you get to God of War 4, go to Iceland, go to whatever, man, just Wales. This is a beautiful game with great storytelling. And it's about gods and gods slaughtering gods. It doesn't really get much better than that, honestly. What games do you want to see become TV series? I know I left out a ton, so this is most definitely part 1 of a ton of other videos that are coming based on this. I mean, just off the top of my head, Uncharted is one of them. I mean, I know it's becoming a movie, I know, but will be great TV series as well. Mass Effect, Halo, Gears of War. I mean, there's so many. Mario. It would be kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be really cool to see an animated Mario Kart TV series, right? So these games that I talked about and others will be on a part 2 coming up later on. So let me know down below what you want to see and maybe I'll include it in the next video. Down below here on the cards below, you will see my latest video and you'll see a playlist that I want you guys to watch. Don't forget to like and subscribe because the majority of you are not subscribed. So if you're watching, if you're here, why not subscribe anyways, right? Anyways, that's it. That's the end of the video for today, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.